Welcome to Blue Talks.
Hello everyone, it gives me great pleasure and honor to be here at Cambridge University in England, and I'm really delighted to be here. So out of curiosity, how many of you know about Qigong? We have quite a few. And how many of you know about or have heard of animal Qigong? Nobody in this room. Well, I'm here to talk to you or introduce you to the 5 animal Qigong system and how it supports your health. Okay, so have I raised your curiosity already? So let's dive in and look at all these beautiful wild animals and how they support our health. So this 5 animal Qigong system is approximately 1,600 years old practice, which was founded in China. There are older Qigong systems as well, going back to 6,000 years or even longer. So it's a very ancient practice, founded in China. And animal Qigong is one of the classic Qigong forms made famous by China's renowned master physician, wove. So wove was famous because he created and used anesthesia in China. And he spent years studying and observing these animals. So basically the 5 animals that he studied and observed were the tiger, the deer, the bear, the monkey, and the crane. Why these 5 animals? Because those were the animals available to him in his environment. So he spent years, as I mentioned, studying them and observing them and how they relate to different parts of our body or the different organs in our body and other relationships. For example, how they control our emotions or what emotions are affected by these animals and how we can embody these animals in our daily practices to release those emotions, from our body in order to release the toxins in our body and have a more healthy and fulfillment, in our daily lives. So I learned this practice from my teacher, Daisy Lee, who is actually the 59th generation lineage holder of the 5 animal Qigong practice. So the 5 animals that I mentioned that wove he studied were the tiger, deer, bear, monkey, and the crane. And these beautiful animals teach us about courage, resilience, playfulness, awareness, alertness, joy, agility, and flexibility. And I'd like to mention that animals are very tuned into their body and senses, and they use their natural gifts to ride the wave of life. Unlike us humans, who actually when we go through some situations in life, where there's anxiety or fear, we actually trap these emotions in our body. We don't release them immediately, like the animals. The animals actually, when they've been through some kind of traumatic experience, when they get to a safe environment, they actually shake their anxiety or fear off. There's so much we can learn from the natural kingdom, right? From the animal kingdom, from nature itself. So I think that's a beautiful kind of learning that we can also empower or embody in our daily life as well. And we can learn, as I mentioned, we can learn a lot from nature, and nature is our greatest teacher and master, right? So nature teaches us how interconnected we are, to each other, to Mother Earth, to the stars, to our whole environment, and basically to the entire universe, how we are not separate, we're very, very connected to everything around us, So that's also another thing that nature teaches us. And what happens to one of us actually affects all of us. This is how interconnected we are. And apparently our thoughts and actions can have a huge effect on someone sitting on the other side of the world, right? And science has also has discovered that, through the scientific discoveries, that what happens to one person sitting on one side of the world can affect somebody else on the other side of the world. So this is going back to the interconnectedness. So we really need to be mindful of our thoughts and actions. So the 5 animal Qigong practices allow us to look at the qualities of the animal in terms of the traditional Chinese medicine or cosmology, TCM for short, and the principles of the TCM. So how, as I mentioned, how interrelated or correlated we are to the different parts of our body, compared, to the animals, and how the animals teach us also about emotions and how our emotions are related to the animals, to these, in this particular case, I'm talking about these particular 5 animals. For example, if you're dealing with grief, as I am currently, because as I mentioned, my father passed away recently, you may work with the crane. You may look at the crane for inspiration and embody the crane in your daily, imagine being the crane, embodying the crane and opening up your wings and, closing them and being kind of this grandeur, this elegance of the crane. And it can really help release that grief because grief is actually stored in our lungs and our heart. So by embodying the crane, by practicing the movements of the crane, we can actually release this grief from our lungs. So yeah, and another thing is if we need joy in our life, we can turn to the cheeky monkey for inspiration, right? So, and the season of the monkey is summer, reminding us of the fruits and joys of summer. So start off with the tiger, and some of the qualities of the tiger are, the tiger is courageous, powerful, ferocious, and it's focused. It has these beautiful, sharp, focused eyes. It's very, very focused, and it's also very flexible as well. So with regards to the traditional Chinese medicine and how it's related to the organs in our body, so the yin organ the tiger is related to is the liver, and the yang organ is the gallbladder. And the element the tiger represents is wood, and the sense organ are the eyes. The eyes of the tiger are sharp and focused, as I mentioned. And the tissues which this animal governs are the sinews and tendons. And from the emotional point of view, from the negative aspect, the tiger kind of represents anger, because when we're angry, a lot of the anger is actually stored in the liver. And if we can transmute that, transform that by embodying the tiger practices in our daily life, daily routine, we can actually transmute that anger into focused intent. By doing some of the practices, you can do the tiger by actually doing this movement, making the pause of the tiger and breathing in, going, and breathing out. So breathing in, so releasing that stored anger, from within your liver area. So the benefits are, when we release this anger, we become more focused, peaceful, calm, and content. And we have a healthy liver and gallbladder because we've released those toxins from our body, and everything can flow again. We're in flow again. So that is the beauty of embodying these animals into our lives. And next, the deer. The deer represent gentleness, heart intelligence. The deer is shy. Although shy, the deer is also very powerful, and it's very fast. It can run at high speeds, and it's very agile. What's fascinating about the deer is its eyes. It has these big eyes, and it has a 300-degree vision, so it can actually see around most of its environment. The only place it can't see is behind, but it has a very kind of a wide view of the environment, and also can see, whether danger is in the near, so very, very alert. The kidneys are the yin organ the deer represents, and the yang organ is the bladder. And deer is a water element, and the sense organs are the ears, because it has these large ears, very sensitive ears. And the tissues governed are the bones and the joints. So by practicing the deer movements, you can actually improve your bones and joints. That's how the deer can support your health. And the emotions are fear. So when you have this fear state, you're in this fear state, you can actually practice the deer movements and exercises to release the fear from your body and become more alert and aware. Moving on to Mama Bear. The bear is very wise, has inner wisdom, understanding, it's solitude. So the bear, loves to have a lot of alone time. So it likes to be alone for long periods. It's very inspirational, can inspire you. It's very flexible. Believe it or not, the bear can run extremely fast. It can run at the speed of 25 to 35 miles an hour, which was wow. It's very, considering its mass and its size, it can actually run at high speeds. In fact, it can run faster than the fastest human. And how is it related to our body, the different organs in our body? Well, the spleen is the yin organ, which is correlated to us, and the stomach is the yang organ. And the bear is a very earthy animal, so the element it represents is the earth, and the sense organ is the mouth, and the tissues which are governed by the bear are the flesh and muscles. And from the emotions, the bear is, when you're worried or anxious, you can release or embody the bear in your daily practices to transform, your worries, your anxiety, and turn those negative emotions to positive emotions such as clarity and concentration. So moving on to the cheeky monkey. The monkey is very curious, like Curious George. It's fun, it's very playful, and very cheeky. And it represents the heart as the yin organ and the small intestine as the yang organ. And the element the monkey represents is fire. It's a very fiery animal. And the sense organ is the tongue. And the tissues which the monkey governs are the blood and vessels. And from the emotional point of view, it can also represent overexcitement and nervousness. So, when we're overexcited or over happy, joyous, it can also be negative, because I've heard of situations where people have had a heart attack from maybe laughing too much, or being overexcited. But I guess it's not a bad way to exit, right? So if you're going to go joyfully. And we can transmute that emotion by embodying the monkey in our practices, by becoming more joyful, calm, and experiencing more love. So that's how we can transmute these negative emotions into positive emotions such as joy, calm, and love, and by embodying the monkey. The last but not least animal that I'd like to talk about is the crane. The crane, the qualities of the crane are strength, balance, poise, elegance, grandeur, and the crane gives us like a bird's eye view of the situation, like a different perspective of life. It represents Also, a grief, as I mentioned, the negative emotion of sadness, how we can transmute that into joy, into love, into peace, inner peace by embodying the crane in our daily practice. So I'd like to, the yin organ that the crane relates to are the lungs, because when we have grief, it's stored in the lungs. And the yang organ is a large intestine, and it represents, the element that it represents is metal, because when we have grief, it's very heavy, so metal is the element. The sense organ is the nose. The tissues which the crane governs are the skin and body hair. And emotions, I've already mentioned, when you have grief, sadness, you can transmute that into releasing that grief and resulting in inner peace and balance. And I'd just like to spend a minute just to showing you embodying the crane, because that's what I've been doing the last few weeks, trying to process my grief. So, if you want to do it with me, you're more than welcome to. I invite you to do the crane with me. So you put one leg in the front and one at the back, like 45 degrees. And you basically, it's called opening and closing the wings. So first we lift the back foot, and then we bring our arms in, open our wings, breathing in and breathing out as we do these graceful movements of the crane. And then gently release. And we can do it with the other foot as well, the other side. Gently opening and closing our wings and being graceful like this beautiful large bird. Breathing in and breathing out. So, thank you for participating in this beautiful Qigong practice. So I finally like to leave you with the benefits that when we embody these beautiful wild creatures, how they support our health, we become more, we increase our vitality. There's more joy in our life, empowerment, and we have clarity, focus, vision, clarity, and last but not least, inner peace for balance and alignment. So we can also, when we have inner peace within, we can bring that out, ripple that out to our world, to the collective. And I can't emphasize enough that we need to take charge of our health, because as you all know, health is wealth. So thank you for listening.